Hello there everyone and welcome back. I was ultimately not happy with how it performed against boss there for the cruiser clash, mainly because I missed out on so many little things there. I almost never used my supercharged void shield except at the beginning, which I would argue was a bit of a waste considering I was already in a gas cloud. Never mind the fact the most important thing was not sticking a beacon on him. But live and learn, there's a lot of little nuances to keep in mind, especially since I'm really interested in more fixing the stasis bomb bug than anything else at the moment, so maybe it was a mistake to fly into the stasis bomb. It's not like I'm going to be able to prove I can fix it, and like I said in the beginning of last episode, unless it never happens again, so we'll try and take this a little more seriously, and we'll try to experiment more with this what was it, Dauntless heavy kind of fleet composition, because I did kind of like the feel of the Dauntlesses there. They just kind of miss out on the raw firepower in comparison to the rest of my fleet. They have lots of rapid fire weaponry in comparison to my cruisers, mind you, because everything fires tremendously faster, arguably. Well, not to mention there's more shots too. 9 seconds as opposed to 12. Maybe it's not that much faster, but with the 2 turrets on top and their extra mobility is actually more notable, and I would like to try and play with them some more. So we'll see what happens. But to help compensate with my Widowmaker falling back, I swapped out the short burn torpedoes for the emission dissipators. So at least this way, if I am worried about the Widowmaker getting spotted and instantly sniped, at least against Chaos, mind you, I'm perfectly fine revealing it in like Tau or any other kind of matchup that doesn't have the convenience of everything being fitted with lances. But if against Chaos, we've seen how immediately they can kill my Cobras when I tried to use them for spotting there. So this will help a little bit. At least I won't be punished as much for neglecting it and it's falling back. I can boost it to get it to catch up quickly, and maybe I can even use it a little more proactively or aggressively if all the beacons of my adversary are spent. Then maybe I can have it push up forward at least for like a minute or so to get initial vision. So maybe I could set up or follow up with a beacon afterwards. But there's a lot of trial and error as far as the little nuances to keep in mind. Hell, there was still real potential to do a lot of damage there. I also messed up on my control a bit. Mainly, when I try to turn my torpedoes to them, I'm not really gaining any ground. In fact, I'm losing ground because I'm trying to turn for the torpedoes, so I need to work on that a bit more too. Well, Cruiser Clash is anything but a rare sight. If anything, it's like the most biased type of game mode. I hate to break it to you, Solara, you're playing the wrong game mode. You probably were playing ranked or something somehow, and I would love to know how you're getting ranked matches. But we're going to try this again with the Auger Disruptor combo. In all honesty, I kind of detest going so top heavy. I dislike going with the Retribution Overlords, but there is possibility maybe field the 2 Overlords, Dictator and my Dauntless. The only question is, what the hell would the Dictator serve in that role, as far as 4 Auger Disruptors? I really do question and wonder about that. It can help shoot down torpedoes, mind you, but I don't think it can do a whole lot else unless I get really lucky with the bombers. Which is a possibility due to the limited amount of point defenses orcs actually have, but we'll see how this plays out. I can at least deny the micro warp jumps relatively well, and I also have the supercharged void shield, which I kind of need to prepare for his self-destructing cruisers, because the supercharged void shield is kind of useless in every other regard, because the lances are half the time not even going to go hit the shield, so if I can use him for when he's about to explode, that's probably the best value I could ever get out of any supercharged void shield, if I'm so lucky. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out, but I have the fleet and the power to kind of just straight up brute force this. We'll see how he plays though. He said he was rusty before, so this is an opportunity for him to redeem himself. Let's just hope I don't screw up on my control front. Because I do have a little bit of gas clouds I can also use for defensive Auger Disruptor play. It is a possibility unless he has a beacon stuck on me, then maybe it won't be as effective. But there's a lot of options here, so let's see what happens. I'm waiting for him to ready up, quite frankly. I'm keeping an eye on his count. We know there's 5 ships there, so he's just reshuffling it for whatever reason. And where would he go anyway? Nowhere in specific, unless he's confident. Well, unless he doesn't have the, the Blessed Gorks? Or the Gork Blessed Pilots, we'll see. Let's get some torpedoes going. And I do have gas clouds, so this layout benefits me some. I don't even need to engage just yet. I do need to keep an eye on what his torpedo arc's like, which is a really wide arc, so I'm fine with this. I do need to pay attention to where they're going so that way I can dodge some. I think I may actually try to avoid... What is it? Boosting to dodge them there, even though it may be pointless with the gas cloud. And also I have my own torpedoes to keep firing. Let's not kid ourselves. His beacon's going to be relatively pointless, and we know where the death deal is. So let's maximize on doing damage, because I can confidently deal with mitigating this damage. And no, I don't want to autocast. And also, I want to minimize these torpedo hits. If I can at all help it, but if I only get hit by a single torpedo, that helps some. Just gotta get this arc a little bit better. Okay, so this might hurt a bit. That one's a little more narrow, so I'll probably have to take that a little more seriously, but unfortunately I had to get a fire result, so I'm forced to repair that some. Come on. Don't bug out with the servitors on me. I kind of dislike that some, but let's dance, let's strafe, and I am going to boost with these two this time, because I think I can. Because they are, a bit, as I said, a bit of a tighter arc. And also I may do that with this cruiser as well. May take a torpedo hit or two, since my angle's not the best, but it should help mitigate damage some. Now turn. You may take, yeah, you're going to take a torpedo hit at last, but you blocked it. You blocked the damage fully. Keep these hits coming. Also burn retros, because apparently, yeah, now he's got a wide arc again. That Dauntless may have been a bit of a weird shot, but let's see, can I dodge? Dauntless is going to have to reposition a tiny bit. Let's see. And so long as I'm hitting him far more than he's hitting me, I'm okay. I do gotta keep an eye on the fighters, though. Yes, Admiral. Just keep these torpedoes going. Try to, anyway. Because okay, now he's firing everything. So I'm waiting for my torpedoes before I fire another salvo. He's kind of waiting for his death dealer anyway. Which I'm kind of okay with. You know, get the Dauntless moving. If anything, you'll burn some of his, yeah, it's shock attacks. So that's kind of what I was waiting for. Not a very effective use, but I will happily take it. Now rotate this, dodge that first torpedo if I'm so lucky. I am identified, but... And with reload, maybe I'm okay. So another shock attack. And I did repair already with the retribution, so this might hurt. And also, I have means to reveal, so I also can also block these torpedoes if I'm so wish. Gotta be careful of my own torpedoes hitting myself, though. Well, that was cute. That was highly questionable play. Wasted a beacon on that, but... Oh, I kind of flew my Cobra in there, didn't I? Yep, a little bit. But it takes some torpedo hits. We gotta try and maximize this damage potential now. And ideally turn my prow. And actually, let's try destroying weaponry here some. Because he's stasis bombing as well, which I don't care about.
Resuming normal functions.
And you could turn, you do have more fires because you were unfortunately rotated a bad angle. More shock attacks, I'm okay with that. Keep this weaponry going. And I'm not in the stasis bomb, so it should be okay here. And let's see, beacons, they're okay. I'm going to take a little bit of damage, but I'm going to avoid the torpedoes relatively well. I'm just watching for the micro warp jump, though. Which means he has to get closer first. And again, lack of, what is it? Belt armor is a bit of a shame on you there. No. I do have another cover for spotting. And again, we got to keep an eye on his dang, what is it? His status of his ships there. This micro warp jump's going to suck some, but if I can auger disrupt it, I'll be okay. That may have been questionable because of how many shots I'm utilizing here, but let's see. I can still Auger Disruptor and deny him some Micro Warp jumps, so I didn't hold fire fast enough, so that may have disrupted my Retribution's fire some. Just a little bit. Dauntless is also gone, so wasn't paying attention to that, but we're doing good damage. One of the prows completely gone. Shock attacks, that's fine. Now, I'm trying to figure out how to rotate this, because assuming the weaponry broke, I probably can't shoot my left side anymore. Also, let's get some lock-ons going. Again, keep my priority going. You're not targeting ships for me, I don't know why. And now, yeah, because if his prows dies, that's not a big deal. Also, I have torpedoes, let's use them, shall we? Because again, I have Supercharged void shields, he's doing a horrible job of... So, good hits there, a lot of damn good hits. And I, again, have Supercharged void shields to help mitigate this horribly. So now I gotta start destroying them for that to matter. Now pay attention, I gotta pay attention to my weaponry there some. That's gonna boost out relatively well. I do have Cobras, or yeah, I have Cobras taking the hits, I got boosting going. And I want this thing to die. Well, I thought it auto-casted my weaponry some, but I guess my boring, but I guess not. Now this might hurt some there. But it's exploding ships. It does more damage to him than it does to me. I am going to lose the Retribution though, so let's not get too cocky. But 2 ships for the price of 1 isn't too terrible, but I still got to do damage. And did I accidentally hold fire? No, I didn't. So more exploding ships, and I explode on him, but that's not very helpful just yet. You are going to take some damage. We minimize his lance fire horribly here, but what Micro Warp Jump? Really nothing just yet. And I'm so... And he... Okay, damage that prow. I'm happy with that. And again, Supercharged void shield is a really strong weapon here, especially now that I'm pretty much in his blind spot. You can't really do a whole lot at this angle, so long as I keep firing at him. Now, shield transfers. I could be shield transfer as well, it's not very helpful. But that Auger Disruptor sure as hell will be useful. Now, let's get the hell out of the way of these bashes, ideally. And that was a bad shot there as far as my weaponry, but... Okay, that hit me some. Can I finish them off? I would love to finish off these 2 other ships there before I lose this Overlord. So destroy the Basha. Ships are burning, so I should be okay. And I don't have a Supercharged void shield anymore either, so that's a bit of a pain. So that's dead. So it kills the Overlord at last, but... Can I finish off? Well, that's going to burn to death, so it's kind of okay there in that regard. It has no prow, it has no deck, and I can spawn more Cobras if I so wish. Just gotta be careful. I did burn my own boosters, so... So long as my shields are up, I'm kind of okay. And I'm gonna dodge those torpedoes amazingly well, so... It's gonna explode again, but I do have shields up, so that mitigates it a lot. Now, I'm waiting for my orders to come back up. I'm too close for your torpedoes. This might hurt a bit, but... Again, same situation as before. How many mega side cannons does he have is what I'm curious about. He doesn't have any side cannons, so if I can stay behind him, that'd be pretty nifty. Gonna be risky as hell, but it's gonna be pretty nifty. Now, let's keep chasing after him. This is his blind spot, and I didn't ever prioritize the weapons, which is a bit of a mistake too, but
Helm coordinates acknowledged.
this is not a very good position for him. He kind of screwed himself, and my shields should be up in time for repairs.
Setting course. Changing course. All ahead full.
Well, you did it to yourself there, Solari.
Engines hot.
I kind of would like to bug out your controls a little bit more, but
Course plotted.
I do have Supercharged void shields up.
Changing course.
So,
Engines to
and he can't do
maximum.
anything about that. And that was really weird. That is game. I think that's just glitchy orcs. But that was a hilarious ending, wasn't it? I still feel like I messed it up a little bit in certain regards, but that supercharged void shield is incredibly valuable if I can pick off those ships relatively well, and ideally not have to burn multiple supercharged void shields to do it. Probably a lot more closer than it could have been. I feel like I could have done that better, because my Dauntless, I did leave it out to dry, didn't I? Because its firepower could have contributed some, because it was actually in a good position to do good melted torpedoes, if nothing else. So there was benefit for it in that match, and I squandered that potential some, but that's an exciting prospect for me. I just gotta be more refined there. A little bit more refined on what I'm doing. And it's still a question if I should be locking on in all seriousness too. It seems weird with the belt armor, but I'm kind of locking on hoping the lances, of all things, can get the critical hits. As weird as it may sound, more so than the actual macro barriers. If they get an occasional hit, especially on something that isn't braced for impact, then that helps tremendously, but as you can see, the critical hit value is relatively close to the same, at least on the Overlords. I think the short range ones are much better, yeah, about 8%, so it's a little more notable, but I do question the lock-on play some, and that's something I'm going to have to really look into later on for the recording, see if that actually gave me any value or not. If it destroys the prow, then I can say without a doubt it's immensely valuable, because there goes almost all his firepower. No torpedoes, and at least one of his lances are destroyed as a bonus too. Alright, Scarab, I kind of apologize for you having to face off against the level 10 fleet, but I'm willing to compromise as usual, and it's a perfect opportunity, at least for me, to practice more with the dumbfire torpedoes. The only downside is I would love to go all Cobras, and maybe the Dauntless mainly because I have to, but I don't think he's going to be able to dodge them really well, especially with 250 point fleet. I don't think he's going to have that micromanagement in him, because otherwise this would be a good entertaining spectacle to watch if he has that capability. Otherwise it'll be a completely one-side fight because all my torpedoes are hitting. But I do want to practice my dumbfire, blind fire potential as well. I think there's benefit in that. I like the idea, it's just, well, like I said before in last episode, it helps me focus on other things rather than having to pay attention to a specific area on the screen, let alone the guides of the torpedoes. And sure, I'm still going to have to use those when I'm shooting across the map, because I'm not going to have the convenience of seeing my own ships to really gauge where they're going to go. So I'm going to try this differently. I fear it may still end up one-sided unless I do these torpedoes extremely long range to give them more time to react. So that may be what I'll attempt to do, try and engage them at maximum range, which will be difficult for my Cobras since they are 6,000 unit range, and at least with the reinforcements I can continue to replenish these Cobras. So it's a weird circumstance that I'm basically gonna have a replenishing fleet. On a 3-minute cooldown, mind you, but it's gonna still be a replenishing fleet considering my support frigates, my support frigates are all Cobras anyway, so it's not like I'm missing out on any utility or firepower that way. But 5 ships there, this looks like a Daelif or a Borkan. I kind of would like him to be a Daelif, because that's going to make it a lot more hard for me to try and kill him. At least to try and get through his fighters, and it kind of encourages me to get in close too, so I can shoot down those defensive fighters, but that remains to be seen.
Setting course.
And of course, let's not forget he has a massive amount of bonus points. Who am I kidding? I'm thinking this is 250 points. No, he's at like 330 about. but
Engines
I'm
hot.
hoping I can make this a little more entertaining, at least for me, trying to manage these shots, but we'll see if he has the micromanagement capabilities or not. And if I can at least keep this Dauntless alive, that'll be okay. I'll be happy with that because it's so close to its level 10 anyway. I
Understood.
just may be susceptible to tunnel vision is the only thing, and I forget my reload again. Not as big of a deal, mind you, because my
Awaiting
frigates aren't
orders.
actually going to benefit all that well with... the timer's going to be thrown off completely because of the lack of servitors on my frigates.
Ship ready.
And I don't even think I have maxed out servitors on my Dauntless just yet anyway. I can't remember what I upgrade them with, to be honest, for at least what my priorities were as far as crew upgrades. So, we are seeing ships there. That looks like it may be a sauce. We'll see what happens. I don't think he took any torpedo hits there if that was the actual cruiser. And I kind of like the idea of going after the frigates on the right, since he is kind of wedged in there, and I can fire more torpedoes to kind of force him to stay there some.
Orders received.
Let's just get these Cobras in a better spot so I don't hit myself. Unless I could time this properly. There. That should miss completely. Goes right between my Cobras, and it keeps putting some pressure on him. It was a bad angle shot, wasn't it? And it's still in the gas cloud, but it's not helping any.
Awaiting orders.
It's not really helping in any regard, so... With that said, I like to try and whittle down these frigates.
Underway.
It goes without saying, since I am kind of like underpowered in terms of fleet strength, I do need to kind of dissect this fleet one at a time. And hell, I could go so ridiculous as to maybe boost. That would reveal the sauce for me.
Ready.
There is the benefit of revealing the sauce, and these could all very well be Castellans too. Does he have the points for his sauce? If 4 Castellans? No, it's a warrant, so it's a good thing I didn't boost. Well, doesn't really matter. If it was a Borcon, it still would be secret missiles regardless, so
Burn retros.
let's see how his dodging potential is then.
Setting course.
This is gonna be a really bad shot, mind you, but I'm curious to see. Also, let's not hit ourselves.
Course plotted.
This may take a while if I'm gonna commit to a long-range engagement. Or these torpedoes could all hit relatively well and kill his warden really quick. That looks like it's gonna be the latter. At least 2 torpedo hits. Couldn't really ask for much better than that, aside for an extra Cobra torpedo shot. And hell, I got 2 more on the back fleet, so I'm gonna try and commit to a longer range engagement with that said. Because you know this is gonna end so quickly when I get in point blank range. I don't want to do that to him.
Ready.
Not quite yet, and I still want to dissect these, or destroy these frigates there. I just gotta be mindful on my Dauntless's positioning.
Admiral.
Hell, it could kill this one ship right now while these ones go flying in.
Course plotted.
So, aim the torpedoes. I am
Enemy ship taken.
doing a mistake, like I said. I want to practice the blind firing some. It is definitely gonna be trickier with the dang Cobras because of how their torpedo arcs work.
Understood.
But I do have 3 frigates. He has a single Castellan still. Now, I want to prioritize the warden while this Dauntless actually shoots at them.
Your orders.
And I could lock on. It's not a terrible idea. Let's try take these secret missiles seriously, though. And I could spawn a frigate as well. I'm already a bit of an underdog, and I want to kill this one warden anyway. And this one Cobra could pretty much kill it regardless, so
Setting course.
let's go in and do that, shall we?
At your command.
Thank you for that one kill. One is down. We still got to deal
Your orders.
with these secret missiles.
Ship crippled, Admiral.
One Cobra's about to die, though, so I may lose that, but it turns them all around completely. And whoop,
We've lost an escort.
let's try a swift shot here.
Orders.
That could be a good hit. I'm about to get hit by my own secret missiles. So 2 torpedoes
Cruising
and a fire
speed
assault,
set.
so that thing is dead without a doubt.
Changing
I like
course.
that, but again, he's making it easy for me, so it's as I was hinting before, this may be a relatively one-sided, even with my best attempts to make this interesting. It is going to be slow with these macro cannons, but that Castellan's going to die
We are the
after some
Imperial
time.
Navy.
Now, Cobra, fire torpedoes. You also fire torpedoes, although I'm just realizing now the other Cobra's kind of in your way.
Helm coordinates acknowledged.
Your torpedoes coming up in 4 seconds. You did get a hull breach, though.
Helm coordinates.
And you're about to get more, so take that hit. Well, I was hoping you take the hit, mind you. That's why I braced for impact, but that was a bit of a waste. Ooh, that's gonna hurt.
All ahead.
Yeah, Tau ships are so easy to hit with torpedoes due to their lack of fires. And ooh, he just killed himself too. I'm sorry. I am so sorry for that. Oh, he had a second cruiser too, so this is not quite over yet. But I still have the brace for impact to take these missile hits.
Underway.
Oh, he's warping out. I applaud him for that at least.
At your command.
Now, let's finish this up.
Changing course.
I don't. My torpedoes went off cooldown at a bad time, so.
Understood.
And I almost killed the Castellan anyway with the first attempt.
Burn retro.
Oh, I'm gonna hit myself, right? Nope, I'm good here.
Helm coordinates.
Come on, hit the Castellan. Aw, so close. So damn close. Well, I tried to make it more entertaining. I don't know how it actually looked in practice, though. Because I kind of could have ended that a lot more quicker. Let's not kid ourselves with those torpedoes. He got his ship out, though. And hopefully he has a good experience with the rest of his time on Battlefleet Gothic. But, do I get my level 10 in that I so want? That would complete my roster, and then I'll have to start considering how I'm going to move on from here now. I am kind of itching to play with Eldar once again. Especially since that's so micromanagement based, it's going to end up horribly for me for a good while until I get reacclimated. I'm almost certain. And I wonder how it's going to work as far as the Orc sap cannons. That's going to be a little bit interesting. They have the extra hull health that makes them a lot more hard to kill, and of course their sap cannons means I can't quite dodge them, and of course they negate hollow fields, so I am intrigued to see how that plays out if I were to commit to that. But we got our level 10 in. We max out the roster. Do I even want Ratlings? This seems really silly in practice now that I'm thinking about it. Because I kind of don't want them to commit, especially now that I don't have armor-piercing rounds. So I think I may actually change that too. I'm just not sure with what exactly. What's the crew looking like? I guess Master Gunner would be the easy answer. Maybe Commissar for the Dauntlesses, because it seems like because everything else is immune to insubordination due to the Imperial Navy favor, it almost feels like these things are insubordinate almost every single time, as weird as it may sound. But we'll fix that to have at least the Master Gunner. Extra critical hit chance is handy, even though it is like a weaker weapon in general regardless. So, my fleet, that had a different crew complement anyway, so it's a good thing I'm retraining them. And how is the rest of looking? So Ratlings, so those two need to be swapped up. Now my Dauntless fleet is all fixed there for now. At least it looks like it. I'll have to double check the rest of my fleet to see if the crew's as I want it though. But I am seriously considering swapping out of Imperial Navy a little bit, but I want to get down the Orc matchup first. I feel like with the Supercharged Void Shield there's a lot of potential just negating his one key upgrade he's relying on to actually win if I can do the damage. Because killing his ships ends up being like a bad thing for me with the rate at him exploding on me, since it is a guaranteed explosion there. And if I'm more diligent with denying the micro warp jumps on a target I'm effectively focusing on, then he's going to slowly die there relatively certainly. I don't even know what I just said there. And I do again dislike going so top heavy with the Retribution Overlord, so I do want to try out the Dictator, see if I can find some value in that. I'm not exactly sure how the bombers are going to play out though with that said. But it's still 4 Auger Disruptors and a little more extra points. Maybe not so much for... Well actually, what's the point difference with Dictator and... Well, I could go 4 Cruisers again, actually. Actually, no I can't because it's Dauntless. I'm trying to do the math in my head there. It's almost exactly a 100-point difference there. Almost, well, about 90-point difference, so... I can get like a couple of frigates to help out as well. What kind of practical purpose they serve remains to be seen still. Alright, lower point chaos. And I don't think we're going to get the same quality of play as Boss there, so I'm going to give him a little bit of a bone here and not go super ridiculous as far as like the retribution. We'll see. It's still a lot of firepower, and arguably I have better long-range firepower with the 2 Overlords, so this is a little bit questionable, but I do need the long-range weaponry if I'm actually going to be able to pressure and look for an opening, especially with Beacon, which sadly I can no longer feel because it's 600 points now I'm realizing. So I guess throwing a bone will be actually fielding the Dictator in this sense, so... How do I mix up there? Because I don't know if I need 2 Widowmakers with the Cobra potential and all that, but it's not to mention the beacon, but at least it's now less firepower because the Dictator may be really limited, but we'll see what happens. I can at least throw 1 Widowmaker back just to be safe and also do like a kind of weird flanking maneuver. We'll see what happens. It is 600 points though. I was kind of thinking more 700 points for whatever reason, but at least I'm familiar with what I feel for 600 points. Unfortunately, this is more for like defensive duty, especially a space station assault. This fleet composition works really well since I got a good sensor net to kind of like keep vision of them at all times there. And I don't really have to move or do any aggressive postures, so it's really easy for the Dictator to kind of defend the rest of my fleet as a result. Not to mention factors like a space station also contribute with said defense. But we'll see what happens here. Arguably, I have better long-range firepower here than I did with my Retribution and Tyrant, sort of. Well, technically, I'm missing out on 1 Plasma Macro Battery, and I do only have 1 extra Lance, so yeah, I guess it's about the same there. It depends on what's more valuable for long-range engagements, the Lances or the Macro Batteries in all seriousness. And I am going to have to try see when I can get away with the lock-ons, because that's going to help a ton with poking at range, but at the same time, I miss out on solid runs when I know for a fact I can't commit to an engagement because I'm either too far away or he has stasis bombs that he's going to deploy as I try and poke up aggressively. So there's a lot of little nuances to get a feel for. And he's so much for playing this as a real match, I guess. He's deploying 11 ships, so I guess the Dictator's going to be useful here after all, because it's going to be sniping frigates relatively well. Ah well. I enjoy the practice with Boss there. It's a little bit of a different field. The torpedoes can still be useful in that regard. If nothing else, like I hint so many times about the torpedoes, they're great at forcing his movement. Even if they never hit, he's forced to kind of reposition himself as a result. And that's something I need to kind of capitalize on, rather than realistically expect him to do damage. Because if he's trying to boost away from me, as in like that last video, the last match I have with him there, if I shot him a little bit further ahead, he can't really boost. Arguably allow me to boost and keep pace, if not catch up to him some. Unless he wants to risk taking heavy hits from the torpedoes. And with the chances of these things doing a good critical hit every now and then, although it doesn't actually want to tell me what the critical hit chance is on these things. Oh, never mind. 11% chance. Not the most amazing for a single torpedo, but I'm sure you don't want a chance at a lucky critical hit there, especially with something that ignores your shields and ignores your armor, as opposed to everything else the Imperial Navy can throw at you. So, we'll try and crisscross these torpedoes a bit here, and see how he dances to this tune. Because these are going to be coming from multiple angles, so we'll see if he can adjust properly or not. Let's see, and I guess those are the cruisers in back there, so I hope we're not going to get a situation where he just warps out at the end. Oh, and I am hitting with torpedoes, so this will be simple enough as is. Since these things are so damn small, though, it's going to be hard as hell to try and actually hit them. At least to hit the same target consistently, but I am getting hits regardless. And now we got weaponry coming up. And I also actually hotkeyed my goddamn focus target to my mouse key, because I just realized for the first time today I actually got a new mouse since, what is it, since how it's been like 5-6 months since I actually got this new Razer mouse, or at least, yeah, it is a Razer mouse anyway, but I've been using a standard one that had no side buttons for the longest time, so now I actually have 2 extra keys I can utilize for hold fire in that if I so wish. So I'm gonna try and take advantage of that, although my hold fire hotkey is still on X, which is next to burn retros, so that could be what's causing some of those awkward situations where I'm holding fire when I didn't mean to. So I may have to fix that as well, but it'll make my life a lot easier to actually utilize that. I should be locking on, because why the hell not? And I also should be using bombers, which should be on that one ship there because it's isolated as hell. And I want to be practicing my blind fire, damn it, I've been forgetting about that. I'm more fixated on trying to practice and refine my play against Chaos that I forgot that I want to try and practice my blind firing. Also, I'm still going to get hit by this torpedo unless I boost. Oh, bomber saved the day there. Fighters at least saved the day. Belt armor's gone, so he's doing a notable amount of damage. But this is pretty straightforward. He is getting critical hits though. he destroyed my belt armor, then immediately damaged the deck there. So he is getting some critical hits of sorts. Now, let's not hit ourselves, because that's what's about to happen here. Oh, he blocked both those torpedo shots. There goes 9 damage of worth of torpedo hits that I'm never going to get again. And at least with that salvo, I want my money back. Either way. Keep these going. I still have bombers to finish this off, and the bombers will basically finish this off in a moment. Yeah, this is pretty straightforward. I feel for him. Not exactly exciting though, since he already kind of committed to warping out. I'm fine with that. Not the most exciting thing for a YouTube video, mind you, but we're pretty much at the point. I think there's going to be a bit of a drought to the number of players regardless. Since until we get another sale at least, and even then, we already know that's going to be like limited in the amount of players are going to be fighting. So I am probably due to mix this up regardless. Whether I play as Eldar or not remains to be seen still. So that was a tad underwhelming. Just a little bit. But at the end of the day, victory against Orcs is definitely a possibility though. I just gotta refine my play a little bit, because that Dauntless could have done so much there with its current position. Hell, because of its higher speed, it can easily just outrun. I could have just boosted it away to the corner of the map, and if I brought it back near the end of that match, that would have made a huge difference for me. Even if it did absolutely nothing for the rest of the match before then. But instead I left it to die, like an idiot. So yeah, not the most exciting third match. Maybe what I'll try and do is see if I can get a rematch with him, if he's the only player at least. Now Severin, I didn't get the rematch I would like with Chaos, so well, I'll just leave that in there just because of the dialogue, I guess, even if it wasn't all that exciting a match overall. But I can't remember, are you the one with the dual lance battle barges there, Severin? Because if so, then I am in a relatively good position here to actually just at least outlast your battle barges. But if you got bombardment cannons, then you're really dangerous up close, especially with it's planetary assault. I'm thinking space station assault at first, so that changes that dynamic actually. How do I want to mix this up? Dictator would be useful. I like to go with the Retribution Tyrants. The firepower is really nice, but is that what I want to go? Dictator could still be really useful for those boring torpedoes and the Thunderhawks, because I need to take them seriously. I really need to take them seriously. Although, I kind of like the Overlord's Dictators more. I don't think I need 2 Widowmakers, though, if he's going to be forced to come to me regardless. And, well, I don't have a beacon either, so... But with Cobras, I should have means to spot him, despite any sneaky shenanigans he may be doing. Hell, I do have 2 Auger Disruptors to make use of these gas clouds, so I got a good fortified position regardless. So at least in this situation, it looks like it was a good choice to bring the Retribution and the Dictator in for this one. It remains to be seen if that's actually the case, but... And let's play around with this Widowmaker more. It has a mission dissipator, so it can freely disengage while not being vulnerable to boarding torpedoes and Thunderhawks hounding it, at least. So let's play around with that. Also, let me hotkey these dang beacons. That'll actually be useful for me. At least the 2 in front. Extra slowdown is going to be warranted. It's 3 ships, so this may not be dual battle. Well, it can't be dual battle barge. I'm an idiot. I was thinking space station assault when I originally said that. So 600 points. This is a little bit different. 2 strike cruisers and the battle barge, I think, is a fair assessment, especially with the speed difference we're seeing here. So we'll try and get some shots in. I do have a Dictator, let's not forget about that. And the torpedo spread is kind of a giveaway there. And also I want the Dictator up front. Oh. Let's hold our position some. We'll have the Dictator get a little bit further. I'll try and get some extra torpedo shots in. Because the more shots these fighters can do for me, the better, quite frankly. So it's really handy in that regard. I'm kind of not committing to dodging these very well, though. Actually, I got a gas cloud, and I can just boost up now that he's used his regular torpedoes, so I'm fine with this. Just gotta be careful about having my prow while not facing towards the torpedoes, because that helps with that regard a lot. Alright, so those aren't boring torpedoes. All I can say about that, and I'm going to be hit in a moment,
Underway.
and I guess it answers my question if that was a Lance battle barge at least, but still. I don't know why he's not using the boring torpedoes, especially aiming at that. Maybe he doesn't have the upgrade, maybe he's deemed it not worthy. I couldn't tell you. Now, I gotta be careful. Am I hitting myself here? Oh god, what a... Well, I couldn't ask for a better start, but you know how this is... You do know how the rest of this is gonna play out if that's how my torpedo salvos are gonna start out, for crying out loud.
At your command.
Because this is gonna hurt even more.
Awaiting orders.
And I'll have a little... I think he's just given up at this point.
Cease fire.
I'll let him go.
Understood. Your
He'll still
orders.
take about 60 seconds, but I'll be willing to let him go there.
Changing course.
I'll give him until the warp out time. This will be...
Burn retro.
Give him a window to do damage at least.
Orders received.
We'll see what happens. If he does not warp out by then this will be brutal. It goes without saying. This will be damn brutal.
Engines hot.
I'm giving him a hand here.
Yes.
I'm gonna focus on the battle barge a little bit, mind you, but I'll give him a hand still. And he'll have until 30 seconds to warp on out. And I should... Well, I did supercharge void shield, but I guess he's committing.
Target locked in.
So let's make his day then.
Orders. Damage teams, begin repairs now.
I got
Understood.
the energy prows, and now you can get the hell out.
Vector.
That is all I will say for that regard.
Engines hot.
Now, I do have Silent Run. You are focused on this pretty well. But I can still disengage some. Just watch how effective these silent running maneuvers will be.
Damage teams, begin repairs now.
Now. Okay, now he's warping out fine.
Understood.
I might ram him to death still with the back of my engine, but
Changing course.
we'll see what happens. That may still very well die.
Activating tactical
And where's my... There we go. Auger Disruptor still sing. Okay, let's continue killing him then.
Acquiring new vector.
That was a bad shot, mind you, but still got some good torpedo hits.
Speed set. Setting
And I am revealed now, okay, no longer.
yes,
Alright.
Admiral.
So I guess he's gonna play that game. Alright. I was willing to let that go, but it was so fragile anyway, I don't think I had much of a choice there with the ram attempt.
At your command. Underway.
So let's just finish this off then.
Your orders.
And this is gonna be... I don't even need to aim to shoot this. We already know this is gonna hit. It's gonna hurt too.
Ship ready.
And where's the actual objective? Way out in the middle of nowhere, so...
Helm
He's not long...
coordinates
This battle
acknowledged.
barge is not long for this world.
Yes, Admiral. Burn retro.
Huh, he just condemned it to death now. Because that is not going to get anywhere, and now he is trapped. Thank you for your sacrifice.
Course
It is duly noted, the Emperor will remember this.
Ship
This is not the new Telltale game. I'm sorry to say.
understood.
But you are not going anywhere now. You just made a horrible mistake. And that Cobra alone just heavily damaged you. Nah, that was a bad torpedo shot. I should have let it turned a bit more.
Changing course.
We do have Lances, we do have macro batteries, so let's unload, and bombers could just finish that thing off right now.
Awaiting orders.
Just gotta kill the shields to seal the deal, though.
Engines to maximum. Understood.
And another 10 seconds, my torpedoes alone should finish them off too, so... Gotta make sure my macro cannons are actually hitting, though. That's the problem. This is one...
Plotted.
Oh, the bombers alone did the deed. Kind of like as I was kind of expecting, but... Oh well. I tried to be nice. And if he had a strike cruiser still alive, he could have just cheesed out the third bombardment target, if he was lucky enough, so... That could have still gone in his favor a little bit there. But those torpedo hits, oh god, that was brutal. That I was not expecting, and it was not what I was paying attention to either. So Stormhawks are really useful in that regard, and those things are damn mobile and maneuverable too, so... That should not normally be happening, I think it's safe to say. Well. There's potential for the Orc matchup, as I mentioned before, and I'm still hating the fact I haven't fought at least a Cruiser Clash against Eldar yet. I know Maktar, I got 2 matches with him really early on, but they were designed to be shorter matches, of course, so really hard to say how that would play out. Alas, because I really want to practice being able to weather the storm, as it were, with the shield, keeping the shields up to maximize the durability from the pulsars, and actually just trying to see if I can win that matchup. Because I don't know if the matches I did with Kalmar way back when were the ultimate example of how I should play that matchup, but I am intrigued to at least get a Cruiser Clash with Eldar at some point.